How can you define flat? Because you know what, this looks pretty flat to me. I think we need a bit more of a perspective. Yeah, sometimes you really need to take a step back to appreciate how things look from a distance. The earth obviously isn't flat, because it's organic, nice and friendly. But does design have to be that way? Okay, now I think I understand. Hey beautiful people, what's the most interesting, exciting design style that you should all be learning right now? I believe it's something that I call the neuflat. We had a couple of tries with crazy ideas like neumorphism, claymorphism, just to get out of the materialesque evolution of soft, colorful shadows and playful gradients. But don't get me wrong, these looked very nice when they were in their prime. Skeuomorphism is long gone, even if AI is trying to push skeuomorphic examples as an example of a good UI like these. Minimalism is back, but this time it's taking a couple of other design trends or design styles along for the ride with it, mixing them in really creative ways. Neuflat is going to be flat design mixed with contrast from New Brutalism, big typography, sharper corners, a tiny bit more serious, Glassmorphism, Aurora, and very little shadows and gradients. I call it the neuflat because it's still flat design but different, more modernized with all of those other design trends that it absorbed. So let's explore the extra toppings on that design pizza one by one. Number 1. Contrasts from Neue Brutalism. Higher contrasts are in, including more vibrant, punchy colors. Think these areas of the color spectrum here. You can add some pastel colors, but the main areas of the design should come with a punch. High contrast can go a little too high, so let's avoid that by keeping the saturation below 90%. Big typography. Bigger type is in, and not only on landing pages, you can use it in mobile apps as well. Because even in mobile apps, people like a punchy headline. Okay, I'll stop with the punching puns, but I really like them. Try bumping up the scale of your headings by between 2 to 4 points, and when they're larger, you can actually go with a slightly lower thickness. They don't have to be bold anymore. You can go with regular for the clean, minimal look without sacrificing readability. And you know what? Round corners mean friendly, sharp corners mean serious. But we can get a little bit more serious with those interfaces now.
Why so serious?
Because the corners between 0 and 4 points are becoming increasingly popular. It works great for both forms and masonry-style grids that Apple uses oh so well. You can mix in photos with some vibrant colors into those grids for some nice effects. But that part is not set in stone. It's just that those sharper corners feel a little bit more modern, but you can still use rounded corners in that style and make it look good. 1 or 2 layers can have a glassmorphic effect to spice up the otherwise minimal aesthetic. Just don't make it all glass, please, that sucks. Think a single overlay over a photo with a line or 2 of text on top of that. Aurora or mesh gradients can serve as that organic natural balance to an otherwise serious and minimal design. They're best to use as the main background or on a card or two to break up the monotony a little bit. Warning, do not overuse. Solid colors and flat surfaces. You can show depth by the lightness of layers instead of shadows now. And that's actually good because some of the lower quality displays were showing shadows with this ugly banding effect, and yeah, really it wasn't that great. With just lightness you can naturally show depth. The no shadow rule, just like the rounded corners rule, can be broken in that style however. You can use some very delicate, very soft shadows on some light elements that exist on light background to give them a bit of a punch. But that's an exception rather than a rule. And gradients? Yeah, no thanks. No surface in real life actually is a fully solid color. It's unnatural because sun always bounces a little bit of a reflection over things, so practically everything around me is a gradient. But we're done with all the natural stuff, aren't we? Yeah. So let's go a little bit unrealistic, because our interfaces are virtual things after all. Bold, colorful, punchy elements are the way to go now. Mix in some clear, nice big typography and you'll get yourself a nice new flat design. Of course, there is still room for brutalist ideas and even for those old school soft shadows and colorful gradients type designs. But I believe that this style is slowly taking over all the cool products out there, and that's good because it's clean, clear, readable and modern. But what do you think? Let me know in the comments, subscribe so you won't miss any awesome future videos, and obviously have a beautiful day.